I'd like to address the issue of the landmine treaty, the cluster bomb munitions treaty. How can we possibly exert any moral authority in this world when we sit with 765 million cluster bombs in storage? Do we really want to be the very last nation to ratify the landmine treaty?
I hope not. I, I want to respond first to the point that the gentleman made. Laos is the most bombed nation in the history of the world. More ordnance was dropped on Laos during the Vietnam War by us than was dropped in any other conflict. I think that's right. That certainly is what I learned when I went there. And I went there as Secretary of State for a couple of reasons, but the primary one was to personally examine what we were doing and what more we could do to clean up the unexploded bombs, the ordnance that is still littering this country and which is still maiming and killing people, primarily children, not exclusively, a lot of farmers, a lot of villagers, but a lot of children who end up as the young man that you described, legless, armless, sightless. And we have done some work and certainly given significant money, but not anywhere near enough. And a lot of the work has been done by Americans who are in not-for-profit or faith-based groups that actually go to Laos and do this work. And when I came back, my first request was to members of Congress as well as the administration, we need to put more money in. This is a humanitarian disaster that we created. And we need to put more money in and work much faster to try to clean it up so that we don't have more deaths and injuries as, you know, a fisherman's walking down to a river, a child's running through a field, and the worst happens. So that's the first thing, and that would be, as president, I have this view that when the United States is responsible for something, or if we've made a pledge to do something, we should follow through. And there are a number of areas here in the United States and around the world that I intend to address as president, and that is one of them. And then secondly, I had hoped we would sign the landmine treaty over the last years. I certainly believe we should, and I'd like to see us do that. It's been a priority, I know, for President Obama, and it hasn't yet happened. And you know, I'm sure, that the reason it hasn't happened primarily is the concern on the part of our military about the DMZ between North and South Korea. And just very quickly, the problem is that we're dealing with a North Korean regime that is unpredictable, to say the least, which is stockpiling nuclear weapons, but is also engaged in, you know, almost a constant war of nerves and incursions into the demilitarized zone. That's the DMZ. And our military believes they still need landmines. And I know that we tried to carve out a very limited exception to be able to sign the treaty, and that has not proven workable. But I would like to see us sign the treaty and, you know, be part of the solution, not a continuing part of the problem.